Hello, welcome to Cryptid Crunch. I am your host, Willow Schuyler. Tonight, we got a great comic creator, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to him. He is local to Winnipeg, but he's known worldwide. So let's get into it. All right. So let's introduce to you guys to Keisha. Hey.
Hi.
My co-host.
I know some of you.
And okay, so Keisha, we were told from Johnny that we've had a bit higher of a listener count than he thought we did. 4.1 thousand to be exact.
Per episode. Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, I don't understand, but thank you guys. Oh, yeah. That's a little bit of a I don't know. Am I shy now? I'm shy. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go hide.
I'm sorry for springing that on you, but I mean, like, hi, we're pretty up there with our listeners now. So welcome to Cryptid Crunch. Thank you for tuning in. Please stay. We'll probably go off the rails a little bit tonight, but that's okay because we got a wonderful guest.
I feel like if we haven't scared them off yet, they're here.
Wait, Evans? Okay, so Evan, I'm going to say his name wrong. Evan Quiring. He's shaking his head backstage. I got it right. So yeah, he's been a friend of mine since, I don't know, we're at least 10 years now since I started going to Comic-Con. And so, yeah, let's introduce him. Hi, Evan.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
So Evan's been my favorite comic creator locally for, about 10 years. I fell in love with his art. And and then of course he started sending me comic books, and I'm just like, oh, I like these.
Good. Like, this sucks. Oh my god, this is horrible. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like every writer has the same view as, like, if I reread any of the stuff I've written, it kind of makes me want to hurl. So I just don't.
I don't know. I mean, being a writer and artist, I don't know, sometimes I'll look at it and just be like, oh god, what the hell is going on? And then other times I'll be like, this is not bad. So I mean, whatever, just keep going, just keep producing books, keep trying to get better every time. Yeah.
Oh, the comment section is already booming tonight.
Yes.
And Eli T. Cash just posted and said, oh great, free toilet paper. Oh goodness!
Not the first time that's been called that. So.
All right, so Carl Winsman, and I like you were saying you were talking about the Mad Gasser backstage. So this is the author that has. So we'll delve into that in a moment.
Okay.
Dan Hollyfield is another author. So good evening. Pretty much all of our people who are in our chat are authors. So author Donna Carleen as well. Blade Thesis, hello, good to see you again. So yeah, we got some newbies featuring Mike on the piano. Hi, welcome here.
I love the piano, so I'm gonna have to look up Mike on the piano.
And apparently I'm looking gorgeous tonight, but I'm like this every night.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's true. You do go all out for the show, I normally just wear whatever I'm wearing that day, and half the time it's like sweatpants, and she's got like a beautiful dress and all of this fancy makeup on, and I'm like, I showed up.
I'm wearing
Today's the
pants.
today's
I
the
am
kind
not.
of day where I had to. I felt like I needed to actually match my makeup to my outfit because Evan's art is very pin-uppy, and I absolutely love it.
Oh,
That's what drew me to Evan.
That technically is my vibe, though. So, yes.
you are. That's from issue 4. So coming out in 2 weeks, the Kickstarter. So.
All right. So, what got you started in the comic book industry?
Okay. Well, I guess started. I started probably back in the 90s. I really liked, obviously superhero comics. What else did I read back in the day? Like books like Grendel the Crow. Also read like Ghost World from Dan Clowes. Love and Rocks, like just a variety of stuff. So I just really wanted to do my own comics. Started, I always could draw, so I took a few art lessons here and there, and just self-published some comics. I did a comic similar to what Murder City Devil is now. It was called Midnight Comics. Like this is Murder City Devil issue 2. And I did a comic book, like it's called Midnight Comics. Is kind of like a vigilante, with the cemeteries and all that kind of stuff like that. Kind of like, and then I was going to have like a villain in there based on Spring Heel Jack, the character from the 19th century. And then years later, around 2000, I was like, I should do a Spring Heel Jack comic, and I was working on like other projects and stuff, and I was like, oh, Midnight Comics. This was like, the character's name was Nightstick, and he was like from the 1930s, and he kind of looked like a Moon Knight, but with like a black cape. So I was kind of, and also like he wore like a full mask, so you couldn't really see any kind of like facial expression. So then I basically took the story and like reworked it and had like Spring Heel Jack as like the main protagonist. So and I kind of just continued with that. So the story just like over the years, just like would work on it, put it away, work on it a bit, until I finally was like, wow, in my mid 40s, I got to get this going. So I just put up the first issue. Just bear with me here. Put up the first issue in what year are we at now? 2021.
24.
Yeah. Put out, and then I got issue 2 the following year. Like I work at like a full-time job, so I try to get this out as much as I can. And issue 3 here, and so I'm working on issue 4. I guess issue 3 had so, like basically I took like every cryptid and sort of just reworked it, and I had him like Spring Heel Jack like fighting the Mothman kind of thing, right?
Oh, okay.
But I got to mention colors by Diego Vasquez. Hey Diego, how you doing? So I had them like fighting because I always thought, well, that'd be kind of neat, have like Spring Heel Jack fighting the Mothman. So except he's not called Spring Heel Jack, it's called Murder City Devil because modernized it. Plus, kind of make it its own thing a bit. And then Mothman was called Midnight Angel. And then it was like, okay, have them square off kind of thing. And then so issue 4, just bear with me. Issue 4, I have another whatever unsolved mystery cryptid character, the Mad Gasser. However, where is she? It's a female, and she's called the Scarlet Fog. So I have that. So that's issue 4, which, like I said, the Kickstarter will be launching in about 2 weeks. And then there's like other characters from like real life, true life crime kind of stuff, like all the costume ones. So it's just sort of I guess my way of, because I always like I said, comics like Grendel and the Crow. Of course, like Batman. And parts of like Spider-Man, like from the 80s, like when he had the black costume, like pre-Venom stories I really liked. And just living in a crime-ridden city, kind of always can always say what's on your mind. And so I just was like, well, let's just do it. And just because I hate having to sit on ideas and just have it, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and just do it and whatever. People like it, awesome. If whatever, bottom line is like it's out and it's done. So there. So hopefully people like it and buy it, and yeah.
Well, Eli found the link, and I apologize for not putting that up before he did. So yeah, you can find it on indieplanet.com/murdercitydevil. And then you can also go to his own website, cyclonecomics.com.
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Thanks for posting that. I got to get the other 2 books on Indie Planet. The thing that sucks about self-publishing is just and working a full-time job is, in addition to getting the stories that make sense, and then artwork that looks half decent, and then of course you got to do all the admin stuff, so it's a lot of work, but hey, someone's got to do it. So
Murder City Devil, does that take place in any city that we know, or is it a made-up city?
Good question. It's a made-up. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're from Winnipeg, there's certain landmarks that I'll have in there, but yes, it takes place in the U.S. Kind of like Gotham City, but I call it River City, but the citizens call it Murder City. I got the name from the band Murder City Devils from the 90s. Okay. Just because I always thought that was kind of a cool name, and I figured if he's like an urban myth kind of thing, then they call it the Murder City Devil, the Jersey Devil. But that being said, that there are certain things that that won't appear in the series. Like I'm more leaning towards more crime and stuff that you'd see on Unsolved Mysteries, more or less. But you won't see any Sasquatch or Bigfoot. You won't see any Loch Ness Monster, no Chupacabra, no Manipogo. And I think Mothman is about as far as it goes in terms of like monster kind of stuff. But I mean, the thing is, the real monsters I want to show are the actual humans, because I mean,
they're the worst.
It's just horrific. And it's not that I'm not trying to glorify it, but I'm trying to, how do I put it? You want to have like a good bad villains, and you want to see them get what's coming to them kind of thing. So like I'm not by any means not trying to glorify stuff like, bad stuff, but just sort of
write what you know.
Well, it makes for a good story, but it's also how do I say this like diplomatically without sounding like a total dick? But it's just like you want to have like a good story, and I guess in the same time be kind of aware like crime doesn't pay, because I mean if you watch like any kind of true crime stuff, like it's always the same result, and everyone ends up getting hurt, and someone goes to jail, and it's just not worth it. But regardless, anyways, I like ghost stories, true crime stories. I also, because it also had to do with like when I grew up in a house that was like built in the 1800s, like the 1890s, and even though I don't really believe in ghosts or anything like that, there were some interesting things in that house when I was a kid. Like it was so old that
my house is that old.
What's that?
Yes, my house is that old, and I can attest some weird things happen here.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'm just thinking, well, maybe it's an old house, but what the hell? Like it's just okay. Do houses like knock 3 times or like hit the wall really loud? Or like I don't know. I just had some like I don't know when was your house built? Like when was it?
1890s.
Okay, so mine was like 1894 on Atlantic Avenue, if anyone knows. So the like my house was like old, that they had the original bathtub, so it was like wrought iron, like clawfoot.
Oh wow!
And like we still like in the basement had so like this was like 1981 that we moved in. Like the basement still had like the coal chute for like when the coal trucks would come.
Yeah.
We had that and stuff, and but I also had another. It's not really experience. Well, yeah, it was experience. So years later, like in the mid 90s, I was living on Scotia Avenue here in Winnipeg. Willow knows where that is. So it's like an old area. So there's a cemetery by there called St. John's Cemetery, and there's a lot of times I just like walk by the cemetery because it's peaceful, and I was trying to be all like gothic and whatever. No, I just whatever. It's nice. There was like also a park there, and it was really nice, but and it runs along a river. So there was one day in '96, and I put this in the book. So it starts off, there's this house by the cemetery, by St. John's Cemetery, and it was abandoned. So it's like my friends and my friend Rich and I guess our two girlfriends at the time Rich was like, oh, let's go to this house. I don't know how he knew this house was abandoned. So we like, okay, we'll get caught for B&E or whatever, but whatever, so I was like, okay, let's check it out. So I go up there to this house. I'm like, let's check it out. Doors like unlocked, but it was like the weirdest thing. It was like on the glass there was these stickers of like crucifixes, like the kind of stickers you find in like some Christian bookstore or whatever. And I was like, that is just bizarre. And I'm like, okay, and I'm not superstitious, but I'm like, why would someone do that? And I just got this weird feeling like I shouldn't be here. And Rich, of course, just goes in, just walks in, looks around. I'm like, you're gonna fall through you're gonna step on a nail or something. He's like, oh, there's just like furniture covered with blankets or whatever, and that's about it. So it's just like, okay, whatever. It's like, let's go. And then about maybe a couple of weeks later, like the house is being demolished. I don't know. So in saying that, I took that in the thing like, okay, that's a good lead in. So I had that, so I had that scene right there where guy goes in 1996, no less, goes to the house and oh yeah, this first issue was published by Scattered Comics. So hi Jason, how you doing? Jason Dewey. Yeah, so I took some life experiences and put it into the book, and like it's just sort of like, okay, that's a good start. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I mean, the house in Scotia was kind of creepy in itself, but whatever. I mean, so
there's a lot of places in Winnipeg that are creepy, and like I live in South Osborne, and it's like it's anywhere that has old housing has a creepy vibe.
Yeah.
But there's like, you can definitely tell like the old parts of the city compared to the newer areas being built. But when you reach downtown, there's a certain stopping point where it's like you kind of dread going across to North Main, because it's just like as soon as you reach North Main, it's like, oh, you could almost feel the evil.
It's a good time to talk about the scratching in my walls.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure something's stuck in my wall downstairs. Because
like a raccoon?
This is a new development.
No, we're debating on whether or not we should put some holes in the walls and figure it out. But do we really want to know? I mean, but no. This morning we woke up to scratching, and all of the not like little scratching, like scratching, and all my cats were just looking at the wall like, what?
A raccoon?
And I was like, oh,
squirrel maybe.
There's not enough. We actually, surprisingly, I don't have any squirrels here. It kind of bums me out. But no, we have no idea what it is, so we'll just. Oh, Dan in the comments. So
Keisha, tell Evan about your haunted stick. Yes.
I have a tendency to. I'm not afraid of many things, and I'm also very weird. So me and my friends went to a haunted barn where somebody had offed themselves. And it's supposed to be super haunted. It's right, there's a whole graveyard right next to it and everything. And me and my friends went, we had a little seance-y type thing, and I basically told the kid that I was like, you know what, if you want, you can come home with me. And I took a piece of the barn, and I was like, hey, hop on in and let's go home. And so I have a stick with his name was, I believe, Tommy, the kid that had taken his life there. And I invited him home because I figured, he'd been stuck there long enough. So now I have a random piece of the barn, which I call a stick because it just looks like a little stick. But yeah, so I know, and I collect antiques, so I'm pretty sure every part of my house is just haunted
Something.
galore.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't really have like again. I'm kind of like on the fence about it's like I don't know what it is, but I don't like. I'm not going to immediately say like oh it's a but I mean, was it the house that I grew up in was like there was one time I could have sworn like there was a black cat that ran down the stairs, and I'm like I was a kid, and at the time I'm like we don't have a cat. I've never owned a cat, and I was
You
just
do
like
now.
yeah, yeah. And then there was like another time, it was like late at night, and like I kind of forgot about this over the years, but then it's like late at night. I wake up, so it's like a 2-story house, parents' room, my room. I'm like I don't know, I'm like 10 or whatever. Wake up, and I thought I heard someone setting the table. So I'm like, what the hell? I had no idea what time it was. I guess it was like 3 a.m. or something. I don't know. So I walked downstairs and I'm like, Mom, Dad, what's going on? And like, why are you setting the table? And I just like go downstairs and it's a complete dark. My parents are like, like this. I'm like, well, they're up there. And I'm like, are we being robbed? I'm like, what's going on? And I'm just like half asleep. I'm like, okay. And I look down the, hallway, kitchen, all the lights are off. I'm like, you know what? I just like went back to bed and I was just like that. And then there was that house on Scotia. Other than like a door would open once in a while, but also the house like on Scotia, it's like along the river, so the house kind of tilted. So I mean, if you put anything on one side of the room, it would roll down, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, there's that. Because at first I was like, what the hell? And then another time there was like, because it was like an old 3-story house, and I was like sitting on my bed, and like I had my bed against the wall, and I had like sloped roof because I was on the top floor. And it's just like so weird. I heard like a like right by my head. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what? And I'm just like, all right, I'm going downstairs. I'm just like, whatever. It was like stormy out, so I'm gonna assume it was like a branch or something fell off. But I don't know. It's just like, oh god, I don't have time for this.
Wow.
Just,
I in one of the homes that I lived in, with my mom loved to move around before I got taken into foster care. One of the places that we lived was on Belmoro.
okay.
And the house has since been
Yeah.
been destroyed and taken apart now. But apparently, according to my mom, it was a haunted place, and I recall it like the bell ringing constantly one day.
Okay.
And I went to go look out the door and see if anybody was there, and nobody was there. And as soon as I remember, as soon as I closed the door, the bell started ringing again.
Right.
And so that was like the creepiest thing that I can recall from that place. Yeah.
Balmoral and where? Like, do you remember the cross street?
It was really close to downtown, really close to Broadway, I think it was.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, guys,
Yeah.
we have a couple of comments from our people over in the comment section about your comic. There's a couple of them. I think you might have to go back a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So Frank Fort.
I don't know if you saw Jessica said earlier on. Can you tell people a little bit about the storyline? And then let me see. Yeah. There's a couple other ones. I'm trying to read through them. Sorry, guys.
Frank Fort. Hi, Frank. Asked when's the Murder City Devil movie coming out?
As soon as Asylum Press picks it up. Yeah. I've actually starring Ray Park as the Murder City Devil. There you go. How about that? I've actually thought it through. Michael Keaton as Dave or D.B. Cooper. So. And the storyline. What was the next question? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the comments here. Hi, Frank. Thanks a lot. Check out Asylum Press. You're welcome.
Thanks for bringing your friends along. This is awesome.
I have maybe one or two. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, did we see the one from Bailey? Have you ever thought about doing a graphic novel at all? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm
No,
I'm
that's
blind
okay.
with my
But
glasses on, so I'm trying to like.
here's from
see everything.
Jessica. Evan, tell the people a bit about the storyline.
Hi, Jess. How you doing? Hope you're feeling better. Yes. I don't know if I. So, okay, let's do a little read along then. Starts off in 1996. I'm not going to give away too many spoilers here, but starts off in 96. Guy, young man, goes to this house. It's an abandoned funeral home. He walks through and also the thing is I put in like every type of like, it's a modern day pulp magazine. So I put in like, try to put in every type of pulp trope into the book. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in there. So if you recognize some of these images, if you know, you know. Goes through the funeral home, falls through the floorboards, and then just walks, keeps getting lost, trying to find his way out. And goes to the embalming room. It's all abandoned, and finds like there's a lot of things I put on this page that is going to pop up later on in the series. So we kind of like set that there. And he goes and he finds like the satanic shrine, and he gets, I don't know if you guys can see that too good. Try to get this as well as possible. He gets scratched by this little devil statue, and he's like, "What the hell?" And then his flashlight goes out. So then, fast forward to 2021, and the police are chasing this guy called Murder City Devil, or they're trying to catch him, but he's like jumping around like crazy and stuff like that. And let's see what else. He, interrupts a robbery. Oh, there's an ad there. Interrupts a robbery, and the cops try to catch him, but he gets away. You don't really see him. And then, of course, I kind of do some world building here by, having the local news explain some stuff and what's going on and what's happening and all that stuff. So,
I really like that idea. I haven't
you.
seen that in a lot of things, and I like that.
Well, the thing is, like Frank Miller did a lot of this. I don't know if you ever read like Dark Knight Returns from like 1986, or if you read like
I've read a bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, so because like I said, I'm a bit older, so I mean I'm really influenced by a lot of like comics from like the mid to late 80s kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to do like any like, it's just trying to tell us. I'm trying to do comics worth reading for me. So I find like doing world building by just using the news and stuff is
I am
really
sorry
good.
to do this, but I am being beckoned by a baby.
Sure.
Oh.
So
that door just opened by itself, and I did not see a kid walk through at all.
Did the baby go?
So my daughter is only 9 months old, so she is kind of cranky right now. So I'm going to go take care of her. It was very nice meeting you. If I don't get a chance to get back on here, thank you.
No problem. We'll talk again sometime.
Have a good night, Keisha.
You have a good night. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, that's, hey, look, I mean, it's parenting, right? So, I mean, I'd rather she go and like, I have to take care of my child and be like, yeah, whatever. So, like, yeah, so I mean, what else I got? Like I said, I got like a lot of the people are based on real life criminals. So, like I said, you can sort of see for yourself. So eventually he shows up, and then, spoiler, he kind of like shows himself, like the big reveal, kicks the crap out of the criminal. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, sorry guys, I'm trying to get this properly. He also breathes blue fire. So that's just one of his things. He also, can jump around. He's kind of a little kind of indestructible. Let's see, he can make people sick or ill, or dizzy, like that kind of thing. So I just he goes to the, there's a warehouse, dealing meth, of course, because,
it's the drug of choice now.
Yeah, because hey, it's life. So, but not laughing or condoning drug use or anything like that. It's just what it. Okay, anyways. So
it's reality.
Yeah, it's reality. So he goes. He takes care of that. He's chasing down this one particular guy named Dave, and then he sees like you find out his weakness. So Dave apparently is He's wearing a crucifix around his neck, so apparently he's Protestant. He's the Murder City Devil's like, holy, like that, and that kind of drops him. So, we kind of learn from that. And then I'm trying not to give too many spoilers. Anyways, Dave gets away, and he makes a phone call to his boss, and he's, out of town. And he's like, holy crap, we got to take care of this guy. And then he kind of just looks down at the cross, and he's kind of like, so that takes care of that. I'm just doing like a quick read through because I'm talking about the story. So I've never actually done this on any kind of interview. So since I got like all the material now, so then I got one thing I should say about my books is that every issue starts off in the past. So you got like the first. So a couple of about 20 years later, you have the guy. His name's Aaron, who was like when he was a kid fell into the funeral home. And now 20 years later, he's like a 40-something-year-old man working at a call center, kind of might be a binge alcoholic. I don't know, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyways, but, he's got his problems. So he's working at a call center. He's walking down the street, ends up like getting shot. He gets robbed. He ends up getting shot. He's calling 911, trying not to bleed to death. I just want to say that this page in particular, right here, this one where he's calling 911. So like my aunt passed away in January, but she helped me write this page because she used to be a 911 dispatch. So still wherever you are.
Oh wow.
Anyways, I'm fine. So she helped me write that page. So that was really good. Anyway, so goes to the hospital, and he's, the doctor's like, yeah, don't bother, whatever, he's nobody, and then they just dies on, a hospital. He's in the morgue there, and then, guys are just talking away, and then they're going to put away his body, and then he kicks open the door, and they're like, holy crap. And they like turn off the lights and lock the door, and then he's all like, hello, and oh yeah, and there's an ad for Lucha Mystery, my other comic book. So,
which is a great comic, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thanks. I tried. Issue 4 is coming out whenever. Jesus. Of Lucha Mystery. Issue 4 of Mercy Devil is going to be out. Like I said, Kickstarter is going to be in 2 weeks, so look for it. They're friends.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I'll be posting that. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, my website, and all that stuff. So we go to the current thing, the current present day, I guess. So that this story takes place in like October 2021. So and I'm really like not at the time. I'm not going to include the pandemic because at the time when I was writing this, I had no idea how that would go. So I was just like, we'll just pretend it never, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. So like, anyway, so they're at a mall, and one of the things is, since this is like a horror crime comic, and this was a little rough for me to write, but I did there's like a disturbed individual puts on a mask and starts shooting up the place. And when I did this comic, I had to change the cover and make it more just with the Mercy Devil shot up because I had it like in a mall, and then like Uvalde happened, and the other 2 shootings happened that week, and I'm just like, I gotta, so I was really trying to tell the story, but not try to seem like I didn't care or anything like that, because it's really disturbing, and that's where the real monsters are. It's not like fucking Mothman. It's like just guys that just don't get like help or anything like that. So yeah, anyway, so he chases the guy and deals with that. I'm not going to give away the ending because I want people to buy the book.
Buy the comic.
Yeah. I got the other, like, the villains introduced, like, based on DB Cooper, and the other guy like on the Grady Stiles, the lobster guy, but I thought he'd make one hell of a gangster, like just perfect. So I kind of used them, based them on real life people. Let's see what else. Aaron Sparks, the Murder City Devil's alter ego, hangs out at a pub because right, what you know. And then he's following a serial killer again, that which if you read the story you'll figure out why. long story short, they end up in a cemetery and they run into this guy. And Spring Heel Jack, aka the Murder City Devil. Oh, I'm trying to putting all Raina's ads on here. Murder City Devil and Mothman have it out, and they duke it out in issue 3, and you see what happens. And so that happens, and then quickly, just with issue 3, which it just basically ends with the Mad Gasser. The villains are getting hired, the Mad Gasser or the Scarlet Fog, to take care of the Murder City Devil because he's just getting a little out of hand. So that's where you leave, and then issue 4 will be Spring Heel Jack, Murder City Devil meets Scarlet Mad Gasser and Scarlet Fog. And then issue 5 has another costume criminal. I'm not going to give it away, but his name starts with a Z.
Oh.
So
I can probably guess.
Yeah. So, but like I don't want to give away too much, so hopefully that kind of answered some people's questions.
Oh, that is awesome. And it's like your friends, including me, are huge fans. So we've been. It looks like I'm not the only one who's been following your comic career here, and so. Thanks for bringing your friends along. This is awesome. I'm loving the fact that they're interacting with everybody.
Okay.
And we have isn't Winnipeg referred to as murder capital of Canada?
Sometimes. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I think Regina or
I was just gonna say we're kind of in competition with Regina for some reason.
Yeah, well, nothing to do in Regina. Saskatoon, on the other hand, is absolutely gorgeous. I saw the last time I was there was like 2004, and I saw the Pixies, so it's like pretty cool, you know. But anyways, where were we? So, oh, by the way, I hope I wasn't rambling too long. I don't know how long is the show. Okay, all right. Sorry.
That's fine. That's what this show is meant to be like.
Okay.
So. You were saying that like mentioning all the cryptids in your comic that you're featuring. What was it that made you decide to write about cryptids?
Oh, okay. So I don't have a book. Again, back when I was a kid, I liked the show Unsolved Mysteries, right? In the 80s was on. So I really was drawn to that. Growing up where I grew up, the area wasn't horrible, but I mean, it wasn't exactly the safest place, but whatever. I mean, it was, you know, so I just became really aware of crime and stuff like that, and just to be safe and all that kind of stuff. Just some childhood experiences. I came across a book because I go to the library all the time, like St. John's Library. I go there and get books on ghosts I did a project on UFOs in like 1987 and stuff like that. Like a science fair project. I guess I had like those Time Life books or whatever. My mom got one and whatever. I started reading it because they had ghosts and I had this thing called Spring Heel Jack. And then I was just like, holy crap, like this was real, and found out later it wasn't, but whatever. I was still like really kind of like, wow, that's kind of a neat character. And like just started getting into like movies like The Untouchables, like, you know, like Al Capone kind of crime and stuff like that. I was really kind of fascinated about that, and just really liked pulp magazines like The Shadow, you know, and stuff like that. So I was really into that. Yeah, just the whole time I just had in like back of my mind, like just doing something, you know. And I think it was like really put it over was 89 Batman. Like 1989. So I was like 13, and I saw that movie. I was just like, I mean, you see it now and it's kind of like whatever, you know, art house film, but at the time, like no one had ever seen anything like it. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, I think that sort of set me, and then also like Dick Tracy came out the next year, right? 1990. So that was I was really kind of interested, always been interested in that.
See, Unsolved Mysteries was a huge thing for me. And then of course, like later on in the 90s came like Creepy Canada. And...
Yeah. Like, I mean, and that was the thing. And here's the thing is like, especially like, I mean, I always like the true crime because I mean, you can't make this stuff up because it's true and it's unfortunate. And I'm just interested how they always end up catching the criminal. You know, I'm really fascinated by that. But like when it came to like the ghosts and the, you know, the other stuff, like, I mean, again, I'm not necessarily totally, but I mean, I love a good ghost story nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not really, I don't know, but I mean, you know, until maybe I have like an experience where it's like, okay, maybe that'll happen, maybe I don't know, but
I mean, the 90s was full of sci-fi and
oh yeah,
cryptids and
well,
monsters,
X-Files.
the X-Files,
X-Files is
and then
everywhere, yeah.
we had Sci-Factor.
Oh yeah.
We had lots of like great
Hey, remember
television in the
remember
90s.
the show Sightings? There was like, I always watch it because it was his, like I would watch it and people would get scared and I'm like, this is hysterical because they had this one psychic, his name was like, what's his name? Something Allen? Peter Allen? No, I can't remember. Anyways, and he looked kind of looked like Einstein, but he clearly wasn't. And he had like white hair and like a big black mustache, like he was wearing a disguise. But then he'd go to like an empty room, be like, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of you." I'm just like, oh my god, it's like this is what passes for entertainment. I don't know, but it was just like, and then they'd be like, you know, oh, we investigated this place. Did you find anything? No. You know, it was just like, come on, like, so. But I mean, it was entertaining nonetheless. And then, like I said, what the weird ghostly experiences I had, and then I don't know what it was, but holy crap, was it weird?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I mean, just whatever. You take all those life experiences, and it's like years later, it's like I could use that in a story. Okay, you know. So I just was, yeah, it was just something I always. I mean, I liked writing, drawing. I mean, I like doing humor, but on the other side, I like doing the, you know, I don't do scary stuff. I want to do a humor comic eventually, just like totally cartoony and stuff. But yeah, it's and then like Lucha Mystery is like the total opposite of like Murder City Devil, and that takes place in the early '60s because I like the music. I love Lucha Libre. I love wrestling, which I'm missing WrestleMania right now, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll watch it later. No one tell me to spoil. No, that's fine. I'll just watch. And don't you dare tell me the spoilers.
I forgot that I was actually on this weekend. So
don't worry, so did I. Because like my sister was like, "Hey, you coming to Mania?" I'm like, "That's next week." Or actually, no. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So hi, Jess. But anyways, the what was I talking about? We're talking about X-Files and some guy yelling at a room. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Someone back me up here. But yeah,
someone mentioned that I totally forgot about the Dick Tracy film. That was a good film. Like that.
Yeah, and I have the graphic novel. Actually, so again, this is '90s. Disney Comics put out Dick Tracy graphic novel, or it's called True Hearts and Tommy Guns, and it was 3 parts, and the last third part was the movie. So in reading the first 2 parts, the movie is like actually really good, like even better. And it's just like holy shit. Like, so that's probably one of the best comics graphic novels I ever read was Dick Tracy, True Hearts and Tommy Guns. So if you ever get a chance to pick it up, I recommend it. It's really good. Trying to remember who the hell drew that now and who wrote it, but it'll come to me later. I'm pretty sure it's like my bookshelf somewhere. But yeah, that was really good, and yeah, that was I don't know, just at the era. Like I mean, I think it was like '88 was Roger Rabbit, which took place in the '40s. You know, and took an animation course at the time too. So and because I wanted to be an animator, but then this was all pre-computer era, so we had to like use the cells and like paint and all that stuff and like actually draw the stuff. And I have like a demo reel. Should put that on YouTube sometime. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and I was just like, one person can't do this, and like by themselves certainly. So there's like Roger Rabbit, and then there was Batman, and which kind of had like a 40s infusion, and then there was Dick Tracy, which was like 30s, 40s, and yeah, probably 30s. So I mean, at the time, like I was really influenced by that. And then what was it Batman Returns?
Okay.
I mean, story-wise, really doesn't make sense, but I just say it's like an art house film and whatever. It's got a Susie and the Banshee song in it. It's cool, whatever. So it was like, parts of it were
Hey,
really
there's lots of shows and even songs out that if you think about it too much, some of the songs that we listened to in the 80s and even the 70s didn't make sense, and it's like, why was this popular?
my Sharona, like what the hell is it? It just sounded, it was just catchy, but I have no idea what the hell it was about. But it doesn't matter, you know, or like so. But yeah, like, that's the thing. That's the interesting thing about art, because a lot of times it was Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I remember when the song came out. So then Stranger Things comes out, and then now the song just, oh my god, it's like rediscovered and stuff. So that's kind of the cool thing about art, whether it be comics or music or movies, what have you, painting. Sometimes it's like at the time, you know, it'll do okay, but then you never know, because art's eternal. Lasts, you know, for however long, and it's always kind of neat. So that's a neat aspect. So I mean, if Murder City Devil, like, I'm just gonna finish the series because it's like 9-issue series, and like if it comes, you know, I'll finish it, and then, you know, if there's gonna be a movie, awesome. Hopefully it doesn't suck. But if they don't,
it'll be a fan film, and then it'll become popular.
Yeah. Did you ever see the what was it? It was 2004. It was called Grayson, and it was like a trailer for Robin, it was a fan film called Grayson.
No.
It was like really good. It was like low budget, but how they shot it was really damn good. And actually, I think it was like at the Chicago Comic-Con, and they were showing it, and there's like a whole group of people just like, what the hell is this? Is this actually like real movie? No, it's just a trailer, but I think it's on YouTube. Like, you can find it. It's called Grayson, and it's really damn good. And it's like, of course, like watching the trailer, be like, this movie would be like 6 hours. It was, yeah, I mean, cool.
Bad in the Sun does that, where they started off just releasing fanfics of stuff, and then it became popular. And I know now that I think the latest stuff was working with the Green Ranger before he passed away on a project.
You know, and it was funny because when Power Rangers was on, I was in high school already, going into college. But I did on occasion kind of watch it, and I was like, Green Ranger, my guy. That was he was never part of the team. He's kind of a loner, so I was like, yeah, okay, this is interesting, you know, Dragon Zord. So yeah, that's unfortunate, you know. That
well, I mean, when the first, well, not the first, well, the writer strike in the early 2000s happened. Or mid 2000s. That's when the internet just started skyrocketing with fan films and like indie stuff. And then now, I mean, we probably wouldn't have streaming services if it wasn't for the popularity of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so, yeah, it's really kind of neat because there are like really good director, filmmakers, comic art people doing really good stuff. It's almost like you get inundated with so much information. So it's kind of like, you know, back in the day, I mean, you just go to the store and just like, I'll take this and this. Is kind of like a salad bar. Right now, it's just like all the salad bars falling on you, and you're just like, you know. But salad bar. Anyways, but yeah, like, I mean, there's some good stuff, especially with like music. You know, like, I mean, again, you go to a record store, you find something kind of cool, like, I don't know what this is, but, you know, go to like Musiplex or whatever, take a listen.
Speaking of indie music, you and your band, any chance of a revival with
the Rock Doras? Yeah. Hi, Jen. Hi, Chester. Yeah. I don't know. It's really Jen's call on that. That was, I guess, back in 2003. I really like this. I really liked Link Ray music, and I really liked surf music because of, you know, Tarantino and stuff like that. And I learned how, you know, I'd played guitar for a long time and really liked playing that kind of music. So I was just like, well, let's do something a bit different. And at the time, Winnipeg, I just think there's one other surf band, but they kind of played sporadically. But I'm trying to remember. It was Chris Ladd's band. Hi, Chris. anyway, so I started like the Rock Doras because like I used the band name after a character I created, but whatever, who cares? So and then I played bass. Jen Alexander played guitar, and Chester Padang, sorry I said his name wrong, played the drums, and yeah, it was kind of awesome. We ended up opening for Southern Culture on the Skids. They were the band, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. If you ever saw that.
Okay, yeah.
So that like we opened for them at the Pyramid, and that was kind of fun. Opened for, what else did we open for? A few other bands. We opened for like a burlesque show. Remember this like 20 years ago, so maybe they hard to remember. But then we got another drummer, Bill.
I think you played at Comic-Con one time.
Oh yeah, that was the it was the other, that was me and Chester and two other people, and we just sort of, Jen wasn't there, and we just sort of played it, and that was I honestly I should have said no to that because it was like I was also doing a panel and also having my table, and it was just spreading myself way too thin. So I was just kind of like, maybe I shouldn't do that, and just running around. And the worst thing was I didn't get a chance to go around like look at the convention, So anytime I'm at a convention,
I think that was the year that I met you. And then you just kind of disappeared a little bit there for a little bit from the comic book scene or the Comic-Con scene.
But, I was doing like I was just practicing, like basically reset myself, want to draw better. It's just like burnt out, all in general, like just burnt out from music, burnt out from, plus I was going through a divorce at the time, so whatever, life.
I remember you just like popping up out of nowhere. Me and my husband were walking downtown and by the river, and you just kind of popped up by the ledge. I was like, holy crap.
I was living on Van by the river. Yeah, you came out of the river and asked us for change. Now, thank you very much. No, but that's right. No, because I lived in an apartment on Assiniboine. It was on Assiniboine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jeez, that actually happened, or did it? Okay. Anyways. But so also at the time, like I was, I don't know if anyone's like an artist may get this or not, but I really had a hard time struggling on style, because I guess when I started drawing like seriously, like okay, so back in like 1991, 92, I took some art lessons with a comic book artist named Bill McMahon. So he, like, I go to his house and like, show me, this is how you draw, and this is how you, do this and that, and this is how you do lighting and all that stuff, and hi Bill. And so that was good. And then at the time, like I really want to draw, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Arthur Adams. Like I was kind of like, oh, I want to draw like that. Then I took a correspondence course with the Joe Kubert School, like for,
oh wow,
like so. My grandmother just like lent me some money, and because it was like really expensive, so I was like, thank you, Oma. So I got that, and then and got like a real kind of education that way, even though it was correspondence, but it was really helpful. So drawing got better like exponentially as a result. But then I started seeing a comic book artist named Adam Hughes I was a big fan of, and like I met him and stuff like that, and I met him twice or something. But I was like, I really wanted to emulate his style. And I was having a real tough time because like trying to draw like Adam Hughes, and then but my natural drawing style is more like Art Adams. I don't know, but so I was really having a crisis of consciousness, and like I do like some of my friends at the time would know I would do like some pages, and then be like, oh no, this building in the background is off, and it's not perfect. I was such a perfectionist, and so like I really got nothing done. It was like sort of disaster, but. Anyways, so then eventually I was just like, as I got older, I'm like, look, I'm going to have to draw this stuff. I started drawing comics for a guy in Texas, in Austin, named Drew Edwards. He does a book called Halloween Man. And I drew some comics for him and his other character, Lucy Chaplin. So I did that, and I just went back to my Art Adams style. It's more my natural drawing style. And from there did Lucha Mystery, Murder City Devil. So a few other like side projects here and there.
I see that you're making a name for yourself as well in other
Hi
areas.
guys. Yeah, I don't know. They was it Comics Illustrated like, hey, do you want to do an interview or whatever? And then he was like Mike Wheeler, and then I was like, yeah, like I just sent him my links or whatever, and then he's like came back. He's like, you want to do a cover? I'm like, all right. So it's like asked me a few questions, I answered them and that stuff. So I'm just waiting for my comp copies in the mail. So
And for those of you who follow the Back of the Cereal Box Network, he's featured in the same the same magazine as our Phoenix Sister cosplay double. So yeah, they also have their own podcast as well. Cosplay Cafe words.
I remember there's like I was at Winnipeg convention. I just like usually just wear like jeans. I was wearing like a Roddy Piper t-shirt and like my leather jacket, my leather. And then some guy's like, "Oh, that's a cool costume." Like it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. So I mean that was kind of good times. But I don't know. But yeah, that's how about you? What you gonna go do any cons like out of town or anything like that?
No, I stick with the local stuff. I actually got into being on the board for KeyCon, which is our sci-fi convention.
Right.
So May-long weekend if you're free.
KeyCon.
Yeah, we decided to move from the Radisson to over by the airport now.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a trip, but it's a better hotel apparently. So it's looking forward to that. So yeah. Those of you who are free, it's our May-long weekend. But May 11th, 12th, and 13th. 10, 11, and 12 will be our sci-fi fantasy literary convention.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be helping run it next year.
Okay. Oh, right on. Look at you. Right on. Okay. Well, it's a lot of work, but hey, you know, like it's fun. Like this town needs an anima. No, no, it's like there's a lot of talent in the city and stuff, and a lot of good things. So just keep it going.
Yeah.
And
well, it's our longest running convention.
Yeah.
And so I want to try to keep it alive and try to bring in some new people. Because sci-fi is a huge thing for even the comic book nerds. And so if I can get some of the newer people, like even like the anime club in, I think the I think our sci-fi convention will survive another 30 years.
Yeah, and also it's like people don't really, it's always cool to check out new things. This is what I like about the comics, about comics in general was. Comics has something for everyone, and whether you like superheroes, you like slice of life. Like, I mean, it's just, I think about I don't know if you remember Styx Comics in Arlington. I don't know if you ever went.
No, I don't recall them. When I moved to the city back in 2004, 2003.
Okay, right.
So,
what comic stores do you usually go to, or did you?
Well, I kind of what is it? Mighty Comics on Corden.
Oh yeah, right.
So that was my comic store for a while.
Yeah.
Galaxy Comics on Henderson. I'll visit every so often.
Yeah.
And I have yet to walk into 204 Comics.
Oh my God! See,
I know.
This one time, if you need to get, especially your Evan Quiring comics, if you need to get copies of Lucha Mystery, right there. If you need to get copies of Murder City Devil, the one place in town, the best place, the only place, well, not the only place, but the best place to get, right, exactly, is 204 Comics. Hear me now, believe me some other time, but you want to go to 204 Comics, hi Ash. that's if you want to get all my books and you're in Winnipeg or you're traveling for whatever reason, go to 204 Comics. If you do anything for yourself, do anything nice for yourself in your life at any time, go to 204 Comics. The best thing you can do. You owe it to yourself. You owe it, read these books. It might, I don't know if it'll brighten your day, but I mean, whatever, you'll be entertained. That's my plug for 204 Comics. You should go there, 204comics.com, check it out. They got a great selection and a really cool Hulk pinball machine. So I'm a big pinball fan. I like that. Now let's see. I got some original art here from the upcoming Murder City Devil 4. Like I said, Kickstarters are coming up in 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a hot time. And there might be some actual merch too, but I'm not gonna. You're gonna have to wait. So, anyways, like I said, there's the Mad Gasser, but she's called the Scarlet Fog. So, she kind of, you're kicking the Murder City Devil's ass and just ready to, of course, you got like cops and like arguing and stuff like that. Because let's see what else we got. Got some. That's one thing about I like about Winnipeg, especially, is the architecture. Like, it's great for reference. Like, you want to just draw like old buildings and old stuff. So.
Oh wow.
So you got the gangsters there walking, doing some deals, and then they're like, "What the hell is that?" And it's like, "Oh shit, he's here," And it's like, "Oh man, what do we do?" And you got to get issue 4 to find out. So of course, get there he is, like going after drug dealers and like tying them to like spires on buildings, and then it also starts to lightning. So he's like, "Yeah, good luck to you there, pal." So it's real hard hitting crime drama. But yeah, that's the thing. 204 Comics. What was I? Styx Comics. So it was on Arlington and Inkster. And
Cliff Roble
really,
said Styx was a classic comic book store.
Yeah, hi, Clay. He lived right by there. And it's like him and I grew up together. So we'd always go to that comic store, and it was great. And so I get my Spider-Mans, got my Transformers, got my Muppet Babies. There's a whole variety. But I mean, as I get older, I started getting The Crow, Grendel. Started getting into there's a whole variety of stuff. Like there's like Love and Rockets, which is totally different from like Little Hot Stuff, or like totally different, similar, or Spider-Man or whatever. So I always like that there's a whole variety. And if there's something you didn't like, that's fine. You get copies of heavy metal. As you get older, your tastes change and stuff. So I mean, it's always I like that about comics. There's always something for everyone. There's no need to argue, folks. If you don't like something, you don't have to. If it's like you read Murder City Devil, and it's like I thought book's not too hot, and he's not much of a writer, artist, or whatever, and you didn't like, that's okay. It's totally okay. You don't have to read my other book, Lucha Mystery, instead, and it'll be probably more delightful. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Read both, and just read the books. That's
And because I'm a huge superhero nerd, when I saw your art at Comic-Con, I think you were pushing the luchador stuff, and I'm just like, okay. Wow, this is awesome.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, just quickly talk about like Lucha Mystery is just my love letter to like 50s and 60s sci-fi and luchador movies. I like luchador luchador, like I said, like wrestling. And I just see what a selection here, so like there'd be like all the B movie kind of stuff, so you got like UFOs, you got like space chicks, you got like zombies, you got wrestlers. So I mean, it's just kind of a fun
There's
kind
something
of
for everybody, I think.
Well, yeah, and it's like, for me, the thing is, like, I got like, I don't know. I had some ideas, but I mean, it's like, okay, just focus on one at a time, unfortunately. So I did Lucha Mystery first. I'm going to come back to it and eventually finish that series. But, there's like chicks with like beehive haircuts and stuff like that. And because, again, early 60s. So, where's it going with this? And then I got, I don't know, like Murder City Devil, eventually the series is going to end because it's beginning, middle, end. Most of my characters don't get out of this alive because it's tough business. And I don't know, I may do like an Ed Wood comic book. And I might do like a cartoon comic book, and that's about it. Because I mean, I'm getting on in years, you know. I mean, I'm no this face can't sell itself, and I got a mouth to feed, and you know. So, but we'll see what happens. So I just want to get the books done, you know. So.
All right. So I'm seeing Carl saying his goodbyes but you know what? Don't worry, guys. We'll definitely return with Evan again, hopefully soon, because I definitely need to have you on the show when the fourth the fourth episode, the fourth comic drops.
Sure.
You are fantastic. Thank you for joining us tonight, and this conversation is definitely not over. So
what? No, all right. Thanks very much. Thanks, folks.
You guys all, thank you again for joining us tonight, and I'll please subscribe, like, share. You know how the internet works, so get this out there for other people to see. Please help Evan and get Murder City Devil out there for the masses. Cyclocomics.com. We'll see you. Where can we find you on social media?
Instagram and Facebook. Just to holler at your boy. You know what I mean. So we'll see you. Everyone have a good week. Be safe. Please be safe. Take it easy, and keep reading comics.
And speaking of comic books, we have partnered up with Comic Books for Kids.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi's